So today we were just at a protest outside a refugee centre because there was supposed to be a demonstration by the EDL, and they were going to attack this centre.
By the EDL, I mean, isn't the EDL kind of over? I mean, what? I think they just. What are you talking about? They attack the center. They're going to do a pro. I don't know.
And they were going to.
Is this guys like? Let me know, people from the UK. Are they just calling everything they don't like EDL, or is this actually the EDL?
To attack this centre based on the fact that, well, it's an immigration centre. And so the community came out today.
Were they going to attack it? I mean, if they were going to attack it, I condemn it as well. I mean, you didn't let them come there. Were they going to protest in front of it, or were they going to attack it? Right? So how do you know they're going to attack it? How do you know they're going to attack it? I mean, if they were going to attack it, I condemn it. They shouldn't be attacking any buildings, right? If they were protesting in front of it, then that should have been allowed. So how do you know, lady, that they were going to attack it?
The community came out today to help protect the refugees here and let them know that they're welcome and that we wouldn't allow these.
Yeah, again, refugees are not. You're not welcoming refugees because you're letting in people take advantage of your asylum system, processing system. They're flooding it. They're not refugees. They're economic migrants. And the people who are saying refugees are welcome here, they're actually not welcoming refugees. They're not welcoming legitimate refugees. A lot of refugees are not able to make it in anymore because you have flooded the system with economic migrants.
Fascist thugs to attack them.
Send a message that this city is unified. It is a disgrace that we have people in this city fearful of being attacked by fascists.
No, this protest.
Yeah, so people are saying Tommy said that the EDL dissolved 10 years ago. Yeah, and Tommy himself left the EDL because racist people were joining it, and Tommy was not happy with the racist people changing EDL. So Tommy himself left the EDL because of racism.
This counter demonstration, it was peaceful. We're here to say that we're kicking fascists off the streets. We're standing up for our communities. It's not to incite violence or hatred. It's to come together. And I think people need to understand it.
I mean, where are the guys? Like, why are they? You guys are here to. What has this got to do with Palestine? Why is everybody holding a Palestinian flag? And why you people are supposed to be saving this country from fascists and racists? Well, why are you not? Why is nobody holding a UK flag? Like this actually shows how legitimate the concern from the other side is. You have no sympathy for this country. You don't like this country. You're not part of this country. They think that their country is being taken away. This country is being destroyed, and people are like, no, you're wrong, and we will protest against you. And then they look at you and like, yeah, there's no love for this. You have Palestinian flags. You spent enough time to bring a flag, and it wasn't the flag of this country. So the other side, like, okay, maybe we're right. Maybe you guys are people who don't love this country, who are not trying to defend this country. Okay.
You're coming to protest against anti-fascism, against anti-racism. You need to understand it's not about violence. That's what the fascists want. They use violence because that's the only thing they have.
Well, okay, here's the thing. But what about, first of all, you see, you people had somebody in there that was asking for violence, right? And also a lot of the Islamists who are on your side, they also want violence, right? But I'm not going to generalize all of you saying that you all want violence. Every movement, every protest is going to have some idiots and some violent people in it. And we will condemn the violent parts and hear the other part. The other part that has legitimate grievances or even illegitimate grievances, as long as there are grievances, they should be listened to and they should be heard. So I'm not going to paint all of you with the same brush. I notice you guys have some people who want violence in there, but the rest of you, okay, what do you have to say? Let's listen to what you have to say. You're going to protest? Okay, let's listen to what you have to say. But why are you not doing that to the other side? You're like, oh, these are fascists. They want to do violence. Do all of them are all of them? Like what percentage of them attacked the mosque? What percentage of them did violence? Are you going to dismiss the entirety of the points that they're making because some of them committed violence? Because if we use that standard, then your protest should be dismissed as well. You have a lot of Islamists in you. Islamists who want to commit violence. You have even a lot of that labor counselor. He just showed in your protest that he wants to commit violence. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that doesn't represent us. Well, the other side is going to say the same thing. The people who attacked the mosque, yeah, it doesn't represent their entire movement. So listen to that. Take them seriously. If you don't listen to them, if you don't take them seriously, then the violent part of it is going to grow. Because when they feel you are the ones you are the people who say riots are the language of the unheard. So stop it from being a riot by listening. That's what you guys say. By the way, you misquote Martin Luther when he says that, because he wasn't endorsing riots. He was just warning about it. You're in the street, guys. Can somebody tell me, like, oh my God, these racist people in the UK are far right and they're anti-immigrant. Let's have a protest against them. Okay, what are we going to chant? Free, free Palestine. Wait, what? What has this got to do with anything? Like, you guys have a different agenda. It seems like you guys have a different agenda. What has Palestine got to do with this?
We need government to show strong leadership and deal with this issue of racism.
Again, I'm not saying the other side is racist. I'm like saying, if this is your narrative, if this is what you believe, then say, like, oh, like, your chance. Why is your main chance free Palestine? It just shows that you guys are it just shows what your agenda is, and it shows how concerned the other side should be. So what is this guy saying?
We need government to show strong leadership and deal with this issue of racism once and for all. We are a multicultural, multicolored, multifaceted society, and it's time.
Yeah, the other side has all these people in there. The other side has all these. In fact, the other side has more diversity because they have Iranians, they have Arabs, they have Pakistani, they have black people, but they also have Israelis. Okay, that's one thing you guys don't have as much. So yeah, they're more diverse than you.
Deal with this issue of racism once and for all. We are a multicultural, multicolored, multifaceted society, and it's time now that is embraced, not celebrated. Embraced, and that's the most important thing. We need to put an end to this. And one thing I'm prepared to do, I've even sat down with Tommy Robinson before, quite happy to do it again. Have those difficult conversations, because that's the only way we are going to make our streets safer. When I see women saying, I am not going out today, when I see kids not wanting to go out to play, is this the future of Britain? No way, not on my watch.
It's funny how he mentions Tommy when he wants to talk about racism, given that Tommy is one of the most anti-racist people I know in the UK. So I don't know why do you think, like, oh, we're against, we should stop racism. I'm gonna have a talk with Tommy. If you want to stop racism, then maybe endorse Tommy, maybe support Tommy, because he's more anti-racist than you are. He's more anti-racist than you are. And also he's like, the government should stop racism. Can somebody explain to me how is the government supposed to stop racism? I found the video, by the way. Twitter download video. The video that I wanted to show you guys, I found it because they could see what they are doing. Let me download this for you guys and have it ready. When is this from? This is quite, oh yeah, this is just quite recent. Okay. So let's watch the rest. Yeah, when they well, here's my question. When they want the government to come and stop racism, that means like, I'm against racism, but I don't want the government to come stop racism. I want us to stop racism. Because the government stopping racism, that means morality police. That means thought policing. That means basically limiting freedom of expression. I don't want the government. The government should just provide safety and security, and if it wants to make people have better thoughts, it shouldn't give them those thoughts. It should just create a framework where people could have better thinking process. Like, for example, in the education system, just teaching people critical thinking skills, educating people, and having giving people good enough access for them to come up with their own conclusion. But other than that, it should just, the government's role is just to make the environment safe enough for people that they could challenge each other. And if anybody is supposed to be stopping racism, it should be civilians, not the government itself, because that's too much government overreach if they do that.
I've even sat down with Tommy Robinson before. Quite happy to do it again. Have those difficult conversations, because that's the only way we are.
Well, how are you gonna have conversations with him when he's banned everywhere? Like, I saw Harris Sultan had a conversation with him. Like, the guy is, and YouTube just like completely made it invisible, right? So yeah, let's have these difficult conversations. Well, you're trying to shut the other side down. The other side doesn't get to express itself. The other side is censored. The other side gets the police knocking at its door when they want to express themselves. How are you going to have a conversation when one side is promoted and the other side is silenced? That's not a fair conversation.
Because that's the only way we are going to make our streets safer. When I see women saying, I am not going out today, when I see kids not wanting to go out to play, is this the future of Britain? No way, not a...
Yeah. So that it shouldn't be the future of Britain, okay? But why are you saying only one side? So it's completely true. I'm not going to deny that the other side has some violent thugs in it. The side that both sides have violent thugs in them, right? And the government should come and provide security from the violent thugs of both sides. But you guys are saying only one side of it. Your side also, every movement, as if it grows large enough, is going to have some idiots and some violent thugs in them. And you should call it out. And you should call it out. And the government is responsible to provide security for everybody. Okay, including the Muslims, migrants, even illegal migrants. They should feel safe in this country, right? The government's main role is to provide safety and security for everyone in that land, right? So yeah, of course you guys should feel safe. But why are you not saying that they also are feeling unsafe from, many of the migrants, illegal migrants that are coming in? They feel unsafe. Do you see that the feel of the lack of safety that you're feeling, that they're also feeling? Like, even if you think it's exaggerated, the concern is there, the fear is there. So if you want the government to take your fear seriously, take their fear seriously. Like, listen to them. If you want people to become less violent, make them feel heard. That's the only solution. Well, it's not the only solution, but it's one of the main solutions, is to make them feel heard.
My watch.
This is...
Wait, what was that sign? What was that sign? Hold on. No place for hate. Okay. Because here's the thing. Here's another thing. These are the people who are saying, like, oh, we're feeling unsafe and the government should come and stop these racists. Some of them are the same people who hold the sign saying, no justice, no peace. So yeah, like, basically they brag about that we're going to stir shit up and we're going to break things if we don't get our version of justice.
This is Birmingham. It's a proud city, black, white and brown, all sorts of religions, all sorts of nations. And it's times like this where we all stand together.
Yeah, here's the thing. Nobody's saying that people with different religions and different ethnicities shouldn't be standing together. The other side have people of different religions and different ethnicities on their side as well. So nobody's saying that. People are calling for order, for law and order, for some regulation, for some limitations on this mass migration. Here's the thing. Your country, let me tell you, but the amount of mass migration that you're welcoming to your country, you wouldn't even be able to maintain law and order and process the migrants, even if you wanted to. The numbers are just astronomically high. Like, even if the government wants to, like, okay, let's regulate this properly, let's just actually look at every migrant and actually make sure that they're coming in is legal. Well, they can't do that. The amount of resources that you need to be able to maintain law and order, to regulate them after they come, to provide stability, to actually make sure every migrant is somebody that is going to be contributing and not at risk. With this amount of number that are coming in, it's impossible for them to do that. You don't have enough resources. Just lower numbers. Here's the thing. I know that most British people want the numbers to be lowered, okay? because and even people who are pro-migration, they're like, yeah, I'm pro-migration, but this is insanity. This is insanity. You know how I know this? Because every party, the Tories, okay, but it's not just the Tories and Reform, it's also the Labour Party that says, like, yeah, we're going to promise that we're going to reduce the numbers, and then they come to power and they don't reduce the numbers. So I know that the UK people want these numbers to be reduced, because if they didn't want that, the leaders of these parties wouldn't be promising that. They know that's what the people want. They always promise that. It's not just the Conservatives that promise that. It's the Labour that promises that as well. But then when they come to power, they don't lower the numbers. So I know that most UK people want these numbers to be lower, or else these politicians wouldn't be promising it for them to get elected.
And we stand against racism, Islamophobia.
How is it racism? Okay, first of all, Islamophobia is a good thing. I mean, if you mean being anti-Islam, I mean, it shouldn't be called Islamophobia. But why you're against Islamophobia? So what are you going to do about it? Like, you're going to tell people not to express their opinions about Islam? But how is this racism? How is it like, okay, yeah, people should be able to come in, and I'm not a racist. I just think that no country, even the countries that these people are coming from, would not be able to maintain stability if the migrants were coming in like that. Like, here's the thing, okay? I'm Iranian, right? I could tell you that the Iranian migrants who have went to Western countries legally are a net benefit for the countries that these Iranians went to, okay? But the same country, the Iranians, if you flood any country with Iranians without any regulation and process, it's going to be bad for the country. It's going to be bad for the country that is welcoming the Iranians in. But here's the other side. Iran itself is suffering from mass migration from Afghanistan. And there are many amazing people from Afghanistan in Iran that are educated, that went through a legal process to come to Iran, and those people from Afghanistan that came from Afghanistan to Iran, they're right now a net benefit to Iran. However, the mass migrants, the illegal migrants that are coming from Afghanistan to Iran with the large numbers, they are now a threat to the stability and the peace and the economy of Iran. So the countries that these people are coming from, they also suffer if they don't regulate migrations coming to their country. This is not racism. This is just a fact.